Consider the fate of a lone tomato left to its own devices within the confines of your home on Earth, lost and then rediscovered 8 months later. In such earthly surroundings, the once vibrant, red, fleshy fruit would likely metamorphose into a grotesque amalgamation of white and black fuzz, a testament to the relentless forces of time and bacteria. However, the same cannot be said for tomatoes lost in the vastness of space. A pair of tomatoes, inadvertently misplaced by NASA astronaut Frank Rubio on the International Space Station earlier this year, defied the odds by resurfacing 8 months later, contradicting accusations from his colleagues that he had consumed them. Surprisingly, the tomatoes displayed a remarkable resilience, appearing surprisingly intact and, one might venture to say, still potentially edible despite their cosmic ordeal. In a recent press release, NASA unveiled an image of the extraterrestrial tomatoes upon their discovery, noting that they had undergone dehydration and were slightly squished. Despite these challenges, NASA reported that, apart from some discoloration, the tomatoes exhibited no visible signs of microbial or fungal growth. These particular tomatoes had a unique origin, having been cultivated on the International Space Station as part of NASA's VEG-05 project, initiated late last year to investigate crop growth, food safety, and flavor in the unique environment of space. The project utilized the space station's vegetable facility to nurture dwarf tomatoes, lettuce, cabbage, kale, and flowers, with the aim of addressing the necessity for a sustainable supply of fresh food during extended space missions, including those bound for the Moon and Mars. The revelation of the long-lost tomatoes occurred during a live-streamed interview from the International Space Station earlier this month. Following the harvesting of the experimental tomatoes in March, each astronaut received a sample sealed in a Ziploc bag, with explicit instructions not to consume the fruit due to potential fungal contamination. Despite these precautions, Rubio lost track of his tomatoes during his record-breaking 371-day stay on the space station, prompting playful jabs from his fellow astronauts. However, his innocence was finally established after his return to Earth, as the missing tomatoes were located in a plastic bag, according to NASA. Regrettably, the tomatoes will not be making a return trip to Earth, having already been discarded. Nonetheless, plant research persists on the space station, with scientists engaged in the Plant Habitat 03 project actively exploring the transferability of genetic adaptations observed in plants grown in space to subsequent generations. This ongoing study holds the potential to identify genetic elements that render plants adaptable to the rigors of spaceflight, facilitating the cultivation of multiple generations of crops during extended missions. Beyond the scientific implications, NASA emphasizes the psychological benefits of outer space gardening for participating astronauts, citing increased quality of life and boosted morale, assuming, of course, they can keep track of their prized tomatoes amidst the cosmic vastness.